So Apple finally announced their long-awaited AR/VR headset today, the Vision Pro. However, all everybody online has been talking about since is the high price point of $3,500. But put down your pitchforks for a second and let's talk through what Apple is doing here and why it might actually be a good idea. There are two major audiences for the Vision Pro at the moment. The first are corporate workers, especially those that work either in remote setups or hybrid setups. What the Vision Pro is offering them is an easy way to work from anywhere. This audience might usually be spending a few $1,000s on a Mac, monitors, accessories, whereas the Vision Pro will offer all of those things all in one device in a pretty powerful set of hardware that they can work from anywhere with. They can go into a coffee shop and have the same multi-screen setup that you would have at a normal office desk, then go back to your bedroom and have the same exact setup. Ben Thompson of Stratechery had an article a while back talking about how in the 80s, PCs were introduced first to employees in a corporate space, and eventually, once they got used to using PCs, they took those devices home with them, not literally, but once those became cheaper, and it became a habit there too. So Apple might be doing the same type of setup here by getting employees used to it in the workplace and then eventually easing them into it in their daily lives later on. Second, and more important audience for the Vision Pro right now is developers. After all, it was announced at a developer event. Let's take a step back from the infinite wheel of capitalism where everything needs to sell 100 million units on day one for it to be a success, and just appreciate the fact that Apple, in their very first attempt in the space, put out the most technically amazing product that the headset space has ever seen. The real vision is years away, and developers need to make some software for it first. Like when the iPhone was first announced in 2007, Steve Jobs couldn't conceive things like Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok. It took years for those things to happen. With this price point, the headset can continue to find product market fit with a very engaged audience of developers before it's rolled out into mass adoption, because after all, if everybody today had an iPhone in 2007, they'd be pretty bored at the lack of apps. Because if Apple put together a device in the same price range as the Meta Quest right now, it would probably just do the same things and be a Beat Saber machine. It wouldn't push the AR/VR industry forward the way that Apple likes to do every time it launches a new device. Though, if this operation doesn't work and there's no way to make compelling software for it, Apple can still do what Meta is not doing with their Quest headsets and turn it into a Minecraft device if they get that partnership down. In part two, I'll talk about a comparison to Microsoft Kinect and how Apple can avoid the mistakes that a similar revolutionary-looking device made when it was unveiled over 10 years ago.